She loves to hate. Shake 'em up like a quake. Pop your feelings and turn and dispose 'em like haters I throw away. I'm forever blessed. Got the spirit that's wholly controlling me. I ain't gotta coordinate. I just sit back and bogle my bills and I'm ready to blaze in the stars of my destination. Melted broadcast, open vision. Melted broadcast, open vision. Melted broadcast, open vision. Melted broadcast, open vision. What's going on, everyone? It's Tony Mars
and Mary Bly.
with the Melted Broadcast. And today we have Tristan from the Unknown Investigators.
And we also have Zane.
What's up, Zane?
Hey.
How are y'all this evening? Oh, we got some muted mics here.
Yeah, they're on mute.
Y'all are on mute.
So what's going on, Tristan?
Just life,
Yeah.
And who's this guy sitting next to you?
He's my older brother.
It's your older brother. How are you doing, Zane? How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good, good. So, okay, I see what's going on here. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining the live tonight. As you know, we have Tristan and now we have his brother Zane on the live. Tristan and Dad Chad were the unknown investigators. I keep saying unknown investigators, so sorry about that, but it's the unknown investigators, and they have been investigating the paranormal in Utah for over 15 years. But today is going to be a little bit something special because we're going to be remembering Chad. So we're going to get into some things, some memories and some stories, and then talk about the future and what the future looks like for the unknown investigators. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Tristan the floor there.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have watched the videos and stuff. I mean, he's obviously a character. He's a goofy, funny guy. He's always excited for adventures and stuff like that. But pretty much pretty much got all us kids into it and stuff like that. And he opened the doors for all of us to really open up our minds about these things. And I don't know, we kind of learned. I mean, pretty much he was our teacher. We learned a lot from him, and we kind of started to get more knowledge about it, and kind of doing our thing with that. But I mean, ghost hunting for him was a lot. I mean, and that all came down from like childhood experiences and stuff like that. But I mean, with him, he's a strong guy. Like we all kind of like we're not really. I mean, me and Zane and stuff like we're not really scared of the paranormal. A lot of people are like so scared of it, but I don't know. Him as a teacher, I think, kind of just taught us like not to be scared of these things and kind of just try to get as much information as possible. Not really be afraid of the paranormal.
Yeah.
Based on like our experiences and stuff, like we haven't had too much crazy stuff happen. Like really push us to actually feel like we're scared or feel like we're scared. We've had some things happen that were like, okay, that's weird, and kind of shocked us and everything like that. But nothing too crazy that a majority of people are like so freaked out that they don't want to go to these places and stuff like that.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was when you were talking about the your dad being a teacher and teaching y'all not to be afraid of these things. I remember when we had y'all on earlier this year, I believe maybe February, but it was a fourth episode that we did. So when y'all guys were like the first big ones, because the other ones were kind of like family and us. And so I remember that we talked about that, and I think Tony had said something about he wanted to go. on one of those investigations with y'all, and I said no, I don't want to, because I was afraid that something might attach, right? And so I remember he gave me some advice, on how to handle that situation. So that's one thing that always stuck with me. But even with that, I would still be I would still be afraid to do that. So I'm gonna leave that investigation stuff up to the professionals, and you know, stay out of it. That's I still feel that way. So to this day,
Yeah,
but
it's so crazy how it started because like you said, you guys were our fourth episode, and I mean we didn't even have we had like one microphone. We had to put the microphone on where it would pick up voices on both sides, and we literally taped the phone around the mic to catch y'all's voice.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, and I remember your dad telling us his stories, and I had my kids
yeah,
here, that weekend, and they were laying down in the living room. They were so scared. Yeah, my daughter she had like a hard time going to sleep.
yeah, she's scared. But so Zane, let me ask you: are you involved in any of the paranormal investigations, or are you just like step out of that? You do you not participate in that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. So what is next? I mean, like what are y'all gonna do? Because sadly your father passed away. So Tristan, I think you said he had started it and that's the reason why, you got involved. So are y'all going to carry that on? Have y'all decided what y'all are gonna do?
For me, um, he got us into it. I know back when he tried to start his own like website and stuff like that. He kind of wanted to like make his own business out of it, like the deal, but just mostly just for helping people. Like with all he really wanted was just to help people. Uh, so it was all kind of like he did that for a minute, and then they all ended up being like we just go to places, whatever he could find, and just kind of have an adventure and see what happens. Uh, but for net, like for me at this given moment, if I want to do it, but continue, but it's hard for me to keep doing it. And, I don't know, like it's hard to be doing something with someone for so long and then try to do something. You know? So
Yeah,
it's gonna it's wishy washy for me. You know, it's really hard to like I love doing it. I do. It's just like he was the person who was the character. You know, he was the main investigator, and he was the main person. You know, but it's like that, that presence isn't there. It's a whole different ballgame for me. And it's like like my thing. You know, like that's how I feel like since he's like around anymore doing it with me. I feel like it's just me, and I feel alone and left out. You know. 'Cause it's like, where's the side guy at? You know, he's my guy. He's even by my
yeah,
side type of deal. So
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with it. Like I love doing it at the same time. And it's like it's a tough position for me. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I want to keep doing it. But at the same time, it's like I don't know, dude. It's really hard to keep moving forward.
yeah.
Mhm.
I understand.
And Zane, what about you?
Yeah, I've still been doing it. So, um, like obviously we took a break for a little while. I think it's important to keep going with it, keep his legacy going. Um, so yeah, I mean we've been I've been going with some people and Tristan's tagged along a couple of times, and we're working on getting other places to go and investigate. I mean, we've kind of been going back to previous places recently, but um, yeah, we're still gonna keep going, doing everything that we can, trying to investigate all these places, trying to come up with or investigate new places that other people may not have heard about. Or just
Mhm.
We also
Now,
I
we also got we got so much. two channels, YouTube channels. We got the unknown investigators, and then we got those uh, the other the ghost hunting channel. So pretty much that channel, like pretty much at the moment, revisiting these places that we've already gone to, and
Mhm.
we work with another criminal group. Have to have a meeting to get here with them. Uh, owner or the co-owner or whoever it is to figure out locations and other like collaborations and stuff like that. Something that we can work with, work as a team to for something. So
Mm.
Yeah. So the last time we talked, well, for the show was in February, I believe. So where have you guys been since then? I know you guys are doing a lot of podcasts, video podcasts too, and doing some investigations. What came out of that?
I mean we've done it was a lot of in between. Like we did podcasts and we did those things. And we also pretty much got a location to like allow people in to like, investigate and stuff like that. So it's like a business for me for that side of that location. So I've been handling, podcasts, ghosting episodes on YouTube and stuff of trying to manage this location and getting people in to investigate it and getting evidence there. It's just, that's kind of what I've been doing. I mean, not recently, but that's what will happen afterwards.
Yeah.
That pretty much there's this location that only a couple groups, like a couple teams have been in, and only allow us in to see if we can get anything. Because he had a person believing me that a couple of groups that have been in there, because he's like, he can be separate and like overreacting or taking things pretty much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it was like, I want to trust you guys, so just kind of tell me what you guys think, and then we'll kind of go from there. So the investigators got the evidence and stuff, and then kind of just rolled from there. Like, he just, I don't know, I guess they liked me, I guess, because it just kind of rolled. Uh, in like both of our favors. We both just kind of talked it out and how they wanted it and how I kind of wanted it. And we kind of like combined it, kept like compromising with each other and got it all worked out. So I did take, obviously I took a break for a minute. But all in that time, it was just busy, busy. Just had some
Yeah.
handling private investigations at this place. Then started moving into doing public investigations. So there's like 20 to 30 people there, especially a year and investigating the new people that are coming to get into those things. Then
Mhm.
involved in it, see the patients and stuff like that. So it's been a lot. And
Hey Tristan, do you know a James Young?
yeah,
He says it sounds like you're under you're underwater. I guess the audio that's coming through. And then
probably my phone,
Ray
honestly. I don't know why. It's probably my phone. But
and then Tony, I guess Rayo Garza. She said, I don't know who this is. West Side for Anthony. Are you see?
West Side.
It, I don't know. No, North Side. But
Nah,
anyway,
Southeast.
so no, Southwest. But anyhow, so Zane and Tristan are okay. I get it that you're not sure, Tristan, about what you want to do at this point. I think it's important that because your father passed away like what 2 months ago.
it's been a little over 3 months.
3 months,
Pretty
okay. So I know it takes time for the processing to happen. I don't I'm not gonna he passed. We're not. That's all we're gonna say. But and I, Tristan, I know what that's like. Um, I've because I've had a family member who passed away in those circumstances, and I feel like it's important that we take that time to process and heal, and then there's no need to rush into deciding what you want to do. But I do feel like for me, if it were me, that's just for me that I would want to carry the legacy on. I mean, y'all guys been doing it for so long, and uh, think of all the people that you guys have helped. And I mean, you yourself know your father very well, and I guess what it boils down to is, what do you really want to do?
Yeah.
And Zane, I know you want to continue on his legacy, and that's important. So I understand from Zane's point of view. I also understand from Tristan's point of view. The one thing I can say is give yourself time to grieve. Um, just don't stay stuck there. And that's what I've always said
Yeah.
in these situations. I mean, I don't know if I mean it's similar to, not similar, but I think about some of the people that we have met in this community and the struggles that they're going through, and you know, and I'm just going to say all the stuff, the bullying, the PTSD from certain things they've
Yeah.
experienced, from lifetime experiencers. So it's a really difficult, it's a very difficult thing, and it's something that needs to be talked about. But again, give yourself some time, Tristan. We're always here for you. You can always chat, we can always talk, and like we've been talking back and forth about certain things, of what you're going through, what I've been going through, and it's just really boils down to what you want to do. Of course,
Yeah.
obviously, we would love to see the legacy continue, but that's just our selfish self. We're not in your shoes. So don't think
Yeah.
that it's
But
because you got to satisfy everybody else. Think about what
and
you
yeah,
guys both
and
want.
100% what Mary said too. Like whenever we talked with you guys the first time, like man, your dad was freaking all in it, dude. Like he was all in it. Like since the whole story with the getting thrown down the stairs and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
like man, he was freaking rocking it. Like he was the real deal. Let's put it like that. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I see the passion and stuff. But it's when you put so much work, like, I mean, my whole motivation, like the whole thing that even started this was like, it was something, yeah, we enjoyed to do. We wanted to do it. And stuff. Uh, but I knew it was something that my dad loved the most. He really wanted to do like YouTube stuff. So I took the initiative and made it happen and started just kind of going with it. And he was like, for me, it's a motivation. He was the inspiration of like pushing forward, push like doing hard work. Like uh, I did, majority of a lot of the stuff, the editing and finding locations and getting contacts and everything that I did that because I had so much motivation and inspiration from me that he was that person that was like, I'm doing it for you. I want to keep going because of you. You were that, you're that person, that I need to just keep working harder so we can get to it. And so now that like happened, it's like, what am I like? Yeah, I want to continue his legacy, but now it's like I'm not really fighting for this person. Not feel that motivation, that inspiration that he was, that I was feeding him for.
Hmm.
If I wanted to make him happy and stuff, what pretty much faded away. Pretty much from the pressures, because it's like now I just have a hard time finding fun, or finding, that excitement for it.
Hmm. Tristan, I promise that you're gonna find it. Uh, it's still fresh. It's not something that you're gonna ever forget. But you need to process, and for some people, it takes a year. It took me over a year, and the only reason why that I stopped thinking about when I lost my loved one, when I stopped thinking about depression and suicide and all that, was because another event happened in my life, right? But that's why I say you can't stay stuck in this, but give yourself time. You'll find your way. I feel that your dad, uh, that there's no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, is what I always feel. And I feel that your dad was prepping you for something. Now rather, I know he was the inspiration for everything, but you have to come into your own and start making, finding your own inspirations to move forward and decide what you want to do. Like I said, don't do that for all of us who would want that, because that's us being selfish and greedy. we want what's best for all of you guys. So if Zing, you continue the legacy, we're there for it. And Tristan, if you decide not to, we're there for that too. So whatever path that you choose, you just make sure that you will always stay true to yourself and you keep pushing forward. Because that's a hard thing to lose a parent. I stayed in a very depressive state for the longest time, when my dad passed away. A lot of things I did was for my dad, and even though I failed at some of these things, he would still be like, I'm proud of you that you still try to do these things. I had to find my way is what it was. And,
It,
you'll
it
get there.
it's confusing for me because it's like I love doing this, but then it's like I have a hard time doing it. It's one of those things like it's like I was like I I I will still go sometimes. Like that's I'm still fine with that. So
Mhm.
the hard work of editing videos, doing all that stuff, getting connections, like finding new places to go to and stuff like that. It's a lot of time and effort. Uh,
Yeah.
and with my everyday life, I already have a hard time uh, having any time for myself. So trying to do all these things, it makes it so I have less time for family while so it's just I'm on like this cheater daughter like that I still want to go to these places that's good, but when it comes to like editing and like doing it for YouTube and stuff, it's like I don't know, like I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna like do some, but I'm just not gonna like push myself as hard as so I might like do a location and I might have like the editing and stuff. I'll probably
Mhm.
always gonna like slowly do it and then like 2 or 3 months later, who knows? So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
always on a schedule of like getting one video out a month, and now it's like I don't know if I'll be able to put a video one. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Because you.
a tough thing for me to. It's I don't know. Maybe it's a process of things. I'm just struggling with it. I want to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
want to, then because of all these other factors and everything. So it's just that all mixed to it.
Yeah, I think when we think about this too much, we're over analyzing, and that's what's giving us the yes, no, that we're unsure. So like I said, I would, just take time to process and, you know, get your bearings and stuff, before you make any kind of decision. Um,
But I mean, we gained a lot more equipment and stuff like that. So it's a couple devices that are designed that we use a couple of things or whatever, and I still want to use them and see what we can get and see what the information we can get or activity stuff like that. So I still have quite a bit of equipment that I have to put it to the side.
yeah,
Yeah. Because you guys were pumping out some pretty good material and videos, man. And
yeah,
we do try to get other paranormal investigators on, on the show, but then I kind of sit back and I'm like, man, I don't know, like, I don't think anybody can do the the unknown investigators. Like, your shit was freaking live.
I mean, it's not really fun. I mean, there's a lot of people that, for me, over exaggerated and really much like some of the on the trying to get information and not really freaked out as much. I mean, I feel like we do get good evidence. People don't understand that you're at these places for in. When I first started doing YouTube, I wasn't the editing wasn't so great, so like there was still like wow. But now the editing process is like we can be there for 4 to 5 hours, but all I really want is good stuff. You
Yeah.
see all the other boring stuff of like no evidence of no nothing, just that quick. You get maybe a 30 minute video, just that. So it's because we're all about trying to get information. That we really focusing. We're not even trying to play it. these tiny little pieces of
Yeah.
together to what people say that we do. We're trying to get these people to but
Yeah.
what we do is fit the narrative. The people are things that make the history of it. Like, if it's like, yeah, you can say one word, then you can do there's a species the voice the thing, but if that voice is not voice, then that's what it is. I don't
Hey, real quick. You know Summer Jammies, Tristan?
know.
Summer Jammies commented and said, "Hey, Tristan, you have something of mine." Don't know what that means, but I'll let you think about that. But let me go over to Zane real quick. Uh, Zane, so do you have your own team, or are you a part of the unknown investigators?
I like to consider it like we're the unknown investigators, but would just have a separate channel called I'd Rather Be Ghost Hunting. And so,
I
yeah,
like that.
it's we're still all the unknown investigators. It's just I like to edit and be creative myself. So I wanted to do my own channel where I edit my own part of the videos just to feed that creative side that I want to do. And then, it gives us a little bit of a chance if we can't get together and do it, then we can still run our own thing and just have both the channels running at the same time. So,
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good
So,
idea.
so whenever we first talked to the unknown investigators, we hit him with the question, "What was your scariest investigation?" So, Zane, we're gonna hit you with the same question. What was your scariest investigation and what happened?
Yeah,
Walk us through it.
um, I wouldn't say I have like a scariest investigation, but there is a pretty scary experience that we had at Benson Grist Mill. This was one of the investigations that we did. We didn't actually film or anything. We just went there just to, do a little fun little thing with some family members and stuff. And we were in the schoolhouse and we got really quiet for a second and we heard a whisper say, "Can you hear me?" And like
Oh, shit.
normally that kind of stuff like doesn't really get to me or any of us. But for whatever reason, that specific whisper scared the shit out of us. And then on top of that, Tristan, but we got quiet again after because we're trying to listen to it again, and he just goes blah and scares the crap out of us, and I crap my pants basically.
Oh no.
Well, whenever you mentioned the whisper, I could already see in Tristan's face. He had that smirk. See, Tristan,
Yeah.
you love this shit, bro. You freaking love it. I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that that
So
that whisper for some reason really, really like shakes me to my nerves for some reason. Like I've heard at Benson before, we heard a disembodied voice like me and my dad, but it wasn't scary. Like we weren't scared or nervous or anything. It was just more interesting. But for whatever reason, this one, I don't know if it just wanted us to be scared, but yeah, it scared me.
So I was talking to Tristan and was telling him about some of the how stressed I've been lately because of some of the paranormal that's been happening here. And that stuff started happening after July 4th. And July 4th, you know, Tony experienced something and then called me out, and then I experienced something, and it kind of seems like it's been happening ever since, which I know some people believe this, some people don't, and that's okay. But it has to do with like orbs and UAPs. And what I'm starting to learn, and what other, phenomenon experiencers are saying, is that some of the that there's a connection with the spiritual world and the and that. So I think that that's true. I don't know. I'm not an expert. You guys are the experts, but I know that some crazy stuff has been happening here to the point where I don't know. I don't normally get freaked out because I don't put myself in those situations. So no, I would never go and do a paranormal investigation with either one of y'all. With no one. No, no, no offense, but I'm just chicken. All right, I'm chicken shit that way.
Yeah.
I just
I
don't
do
want to
have
put myself.
Yeah, I do have a
Go
question
ahead.
for Zane. Interesting. So we speak about the paranormal, and we speak about the ghosts and all that stuff. What's y'all's view on like UFOs and UAPs?
Oh, yeah, I would love to see one personally. Um,
We all would.
I do have I kind of do think that they can somewhat be linked, UAPs and
Yeah,
ghosts in some sort of way. Like Tucker Carlson believes they're angels and demons,
yeah.
which
Mm,
like because you see or hear these stories of certain UAPs that seem to be trying to do good, and then some the other way around where they seem to not be wanting to do good.
I
So
love
I don't
Tucker.
know. I think it's a possibility. I I I have always been super interested in that kind of stuff, and I would love to see one, man. It would be freaking awesome.
well, Tony said that in an interview he did with somebody who had been who's been a lifetime experiencer, and Tony said, "Oh, I would love to experience that one day." And then July 4th happened, and he's got video footage of it.
We
Uh,
experience it too much now.
Too much is that it's like I don't even want to go outside anymore. I mean, we've had like the helicopters, the UAPs messing with the helicopters, and I have that all recorded. Uh, then it got too much, and then we started having like helicopters flashing their lights in our yard. uh every time we turn on the light, they turn off their light. It was just too much. It felt like too much harassment already at this point that I don't mentally, I just had to stop. I don't even go out there anymore to try and look for the thing. Yeah, weird things have happened here at the house. I never experienced that before. Um, and not it's not to say I don't believe it. I just never seen it. So I don't know what the hell a UFO is supposed to look like other than what they show me on TV. I don't know what an alien is supposed to look like other than what they show me on TV. But now it's to the point where I don't even talk to Tony about it anymore. I don't even go outside. I don't even look because it's just too much. Like we've had that too much. And every time it's there, the helicopters are there.
Yeah.
It became very stressful and too much anxiety for me, like really stressful. April, I can't go scroll up for some weird reason, but April
April
says I believe in UAP.
Cyril or Cyril.
That's
I believe in
that's
UAP. Been actually listening to Congress investigation.
that that's your mom, right?
Yeah, it's their
Is that
mom.
just mom? Yeah, that's their mom. Thank you, April, for joining the live. Yeah, we have so much. Okay, we went and we got equipment. Okay, and we had I asked a stupid question. So, I asked because we saw we got a telescope and we're able to see the moon. And I thought, oh my gosh, how pretty, right? To look at the moons and stuff, the moon. And I was like coming in here and uploading it and I'm looking at it because I like you, Zane and Tristan, I love to do my own editing and stuff like that and be create more on the creative processing side. So I go and I'm looking and I'm like, that's a bird, right? That's a bird. That's a bird. I see it right there coming around from the top of the moon, going around in circles, doing zigzags, zooming out. I asked Tony, that's a bird, right?
Nah, we got
I'm still
video
thinking,
of actual crafts flying across the moon,
yeah,
stopping and hauling ass the complete opposite way in a different
yeah.
direction. Just and
Yeah,
we
those
got
are
we got quite a bit of videos too. So
yeah, those videos are posted too. And some of the people on the live says they couldn't see it, but then they went back and they did their settings on the YouTube to slow it down to like the 0.25 or whatever, and then they could see it. So if you guys are interested in that. But let me ask y'all, let me start with Zane. Zane, what is the funniest moment you've ever had memory of your dad?
Oh,
It could be
that's
embarrassing.
I, I don't know, but we're a pretty humorous family, so pretty much every time we got together, it was all laughs. So I don't really have a funniest moment that I could think of right now, but they were all really we're always messing around and getting laughs. So
What about your fondest memory with your dad?
I would probably say when we were kids, we would go to like the drive-in movie theater a lot.
Mm,
And that those are probably my fondest moments is going to the drive-in movie theater with the family and everything all together, watching two movies in a row.
yeah. So let me ask you, did they sneak you in the trunk to get
Oh
in?
yeah, yep,
I did
so
that
many
too.
times.
We're showing
Yep.
our age. We're showing our age. Yes, yes, I remember that. And Tristan, what about you? Your fondest memory or your funnest memory of your dad?
I mean, I am the same way with Zane. There's not really. I mean, all the time we got together, it was just a good time and a fun time. So I can't really like say a specific story because every time we always find out, there's always a good time. Uh, but camping, I mean, would be the fondest. Like camping with him was always fun, adventurous. Uh, Hiking, hiking up the mountains and searching for stuff, and uh, also like there would be places we would camp at, and there would be like places that you can ghost hunt and stuff like that. So we would uh, camp and then go ghost hunting a little bit, and then go back and enjoy fire pit, s'mores and everything. So like I don't know, camping was a really like a good thing that I enjoyed with them because I've gone with them several times just with like me and him and stuff like that. And it was always such a time. And one time when we were camping, uh, a baby moose just showed up on our campsite. It just walked right past us, and we were like shocked and like kind of scared. And we were like, "Oh, dude, if there's a baby, there has to be a mama soon, like mama close by." And we're like, "Just don't move," And like we're like, "What the f just happened, dude?" Because like a baby moose, like I don't see mooses really at all around here. So
That's food. The mama's food. Just kidding. Don't get mad, all you hunters out there. I mean, all you non-hunters out there. But yeah.
it
Anyways,
was a great thing. He would always
that
like scare people, especially like the Phantom and stuff. He'd always like would like to like dress like act like he was Jason Voorhees and stuff like
Oh,
that, like
wait,
threatening
oh man.
and like they're
wait.
just people.
He would scare people?
He would try to scare people like going camping. Like he scared my fiance when we were camping because she doesn't like
Hell no.
she doesn't like
That's
camping and she's scared of bears and any type of wildlife. So in the middle of the night, we would like do stuff and we would scare her shitless. So it was a great thing. I know. I laughed about it. She didn't think it was funny,
yeah. Mm-mm. I can't be out there camping and then somebody try to scare me like that. I'd die. I'd die from a heart
Hell
attack.
no.
I'm too
But
chicken shit.
yeah. Now with the stories that I got told whenever I was a kid, like was it the lady that lost her kids in the river? What's her name? La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Yeah, stuff like that, man. My dad messed us up whenever he would take us friggin' camping.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, not, like I couldn't see like my dad getting me into that stuff. Like I think that's cool about your dad that he got y'all into that stuff and educated y'all, and taught y'all stuff. But some people are meant for that. I'm not.
there's people that uh, like these people that we go to like only places or whatever that they allow us to and talk to and stuff. Uh, they would say, "So are you the dad?" So and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the dad and stuff." And they'd be like, "Wow, dude, you that's just your kids. So you have to your kids for getting them into this stuff." So it was always just like a joke that people would always say, like, "Can't believe you bring your kids into this type of paranormal crap."
Well, but I think I'm not against it. I'm not against that. Parents teaching. Kids are more open to receiving some of this stuff, the paranormal without knowing it, because they're so innocent. They can, like I probably shouldn't say it because she's probably watching and she'll get mad. Somebody that I know when they were younger um, had that experience, and so I didn't know what to think of it at first because, again, I've never experienced that as a young child myself. So I had to kind of just pause for a minute and believe her story and just not to like, you know, discredit my to discredit this person, this child. And then I just engaged and started asking questions. Oh, like, what's her name? What does she tell you? Like, what do y'all talk about? What do y'all do? And, you know, so I'm not against the parent teaching, like if they know and to teach their children because if their children do experience some paranormal activity, right, then they know because the parent is teaching them what to look for, you know, and educating on all these things. It's like the gun situation. I'm not gonna go too much into that because I don't want to get blasted, but it's you just teach and educate. That's what
Yeah,
I say.
yeah.
Teach and educate. I think it's pretty cool. I wish they
But
taught me
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I wouldn't be a chicken shit right now. And, as old as I am, I wouldn't be scared. I would know how to
Yeah,
handle certain things.
I was thinking, like, I mean, since we started pretty young, I feel like the scariness of it, just faded away, and now, like, I'm not really scared of it. I think when people start to their life of, like, seeing, like adults and stuff, I think that fear is going to be there no matter what. But when you start it as a kid, that fear kind of just goes away. You're just like, dude, I've experienced some stuff that was like really scary, and now this stuff ain't cracking me. Like,
Mm.
these knocks are not going to scare me. Like, actually do something, you know? Get me to be scared. Like, that's always what we always try to do. We always try to, like, kind of provoke in a way of, like, do
Mhm.
something different. Like, we want that. Because it's like
Mm-mm.
little knocks, things, or whatever are really scary. Like, we want more. Which a lot of
Oh,
people,
God.
no, knocks and bangs are enough for me. I'm good.
well, that's what we've been getting. Even last night, I heard somebody knocking on the wall in our room, and
Yeah.
then she had came to the living room to sleep, like a week ago or something, man. She said that someone came
Oh,
and said that. Yeah, well, you
yeah.
want to tell the story, Mary?
Yeah. So, like I said, we've been having this stuff, right, happening ever since we started experiencing UAPs out here. Um, but there's been a lot of stuff, but the recent one, and I'm not a person that you can scare easy. I'm more of a person like, what the F are you doing in my house kind of person. I'm more of that person, more of like, let me grab what I have here and what's up, but this kind of freaked me out because I'm like, I knew there wasn't kind of, I went into the couch. I couldn't sleep. My back was hurting. So I went to go to the living room and I went to go and lay on a couch and we have an L-shaped couch, right? Um, so we do have dogs and they have their own room and they're crate trained. So at night they go into their room. Uh, so there's nobody else, but I went to lay down and I still wasn't like dead asleep or tired, whatever, right? And so as I laid down and I got the blanket and covered myself, and I was just laying still and trying to fall asleep. And the couch makes a certain noise when you sit on it, right? And so somebody sat there, and I'm not even like fully asleep yet. And so I was like, what the hell? And I did the blanket like this because I thought I didn't hear the door because the door is like a few feet away from the bedroom, from the master bedroom, right? So I would hear the door opening if Tony came out, and it got up, and so the cushion went up again, and I'm like by my feet, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like scared at this point. So I kind of did that, and I kept saying, "There's somebody in the house." Like, I don't know if there's somebody living in the attic. I don't know. You just hear them store, and I know I'm exaggerating, but I really felt like somebody's in the house, and I had to like check everything. I was in the bathroom the other day. I work from home, and I'm out here, so I don't hear everything going on in the house. But there's nobody here during the day, anyways, right? And my dogs will bark, and I could hear them. So I'm out here working. I'm like, okay, I need to go take a break. So I go to the bathroom. When I go to the bathroom, we have sliding doors in our bedroom and in our living room. And I always make sure that they're locked. Once I bring the dogs in, they're locked. I heard the thing opening and I could hear it, the latch moving. So at this point, I just reached for my gun and I'm waiting. because somebody's gonna walk through the effing door that I don't know who it is, but you're not supposed to be there, right? In my head, I'm thinking, and I'm just gonna shoot because I don't. I'm in the bathroom, right? And I'm just waiting and waiting, and I don't hear nothing. So I come out, I check the sliding door, it's locked. So I had to clear the whole house. Nobody was in there. Tony was the other not too long ago had called me and says, "Hey," and at this point I was in the bedroom. Did you leave? And he was out here, and I said, "No, why?" He was because somebody opened the door, and I'm like, "No, check the cameras." We got cameras everywhere. We didn't catch anything. And I'm not going to even tell you how I got locked out of the house. Like I'm just sitting outside, and all of a sudden it's just locked. I'm like, "What
Yeah,
the hell is happening
the
here?"
sliding door, the freaking latch locked on her,
Yeah, it went.
and then I think that same night or that morning, I saw like feet, like human feet running
Oh, you
across,
it was
right,
yeah,
yeah, running across the back sliding door. Our dog started going crazy. We checked the cameras. I went out
there was
there,
nothing.
nothing. There was nobody, but I saw the freaking feet.
Yeah.
So it's
Now I
like yeah, crazy shit like this has been happening like for the past 3 months.
now I will say this, when we first moved into the house, we haven't had any problems for 2 years. But when my oldest daughter is extremely sensitive to these things. So she would be like good going on one of these investigations, no problem. But she came to the house and when she walked into the front, she kind of felt really weird and said, "Yeah, oh my chest hurts." And so she's just like, "Okay, brush it off." And she's just walking around the house. And then she goes back to that same spot. She goes, "I feel like something happened here, like an older person, like something happened here." And so I was like, "Girl, you're tripping." No, don't come in here with that kind of stuff because I don't want to hear that stuff because that stuff really freaks me out. But she's like, "No, mom, I really think that something happened. I feel it. I sense it, and you probably need to, get a cleansing done at this house." But so I don't know. Now I'm starting to think maybe there's something to it, but who knows? This is what I say that is so I'm so happy that your dad was able to educate you all on these things as, growing up and stuff because you're look at me. I didn't have that education and I'm scared shitless and I'm an adult woman. No, I really am scared. Freaked out. It's so much so that it
Yeah.
stressed me out. Like I just now I told Tony I'm so paranoid when I go to sleep. I'm like I feel like I'm paranoid. I'm just paranoid. Like okay, who like I'm trying to hear for things. Like is this door gonna open? Is the curtain gonna move where I can see the shadow out there? Because Tony saw one, and it's like do am I gonna see shadows underneath the door? Like that's how tripped out I am about this situation.
So I wanted to bring up the interesting thing, like when we talk about ghosts and stuff, like we're talking about like the afterlife and stuff, and it's like it's something that we don't really understand. What Brian does. It, I want to, because me and them have some stories about this. After my dad passed, we've had some weird things that after he passed, some weird things that have happened uh, between like at my place and his place. Uh, Zane, you want the first thing happened at his place, and then I was talking about the other.
So let me say fitness mom of two. Do you know who that is?
Yeah,
Okay, she commented, I always wondered what people see when they pass away, if they're literally watching all of us at once or individually. That's a good question. I wonder about that too, because I do believe I so I believe in a lot of things. I know that there's ghosts. I know that there's an afterlife. I that's what I believe in. But I'm scared. Like I'm the scary part. I'm scared of this
Well,
like that stuff. That would freak me out because I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but real quick, I want to go back to what Tristan was talking about. You said that there's
Hmm.
some things after your dad passed. There's some things were happening at your place and Zane's place.
yeah.
Like what?
Go ahead, Zane.
Oh, well,
He's like tell him.
What was the
Putting
first?
you
the
on the spot.
first the first thing that was weird that happened, we've had quite a few things that were like, I don't know, but it was kind of weird. But I was so we had sorted through all my dad's stuff, and I was hanging up a poster that my dad had up on my wall. It's an Army of Darkness poster, and it's hanging it up on my
Mhm.
wall. And my like I was talking to my wife, like I was asking her, like, should I go here? Should I go there? And then when I got it in a certain spot, our Alexa goes off, and it says like green light, not responding, and we're like, what the heck? That's weird. I've never heard it say that before. Sometimes it goes off thinking that we're talking to it and it'll say weird stuff, but I was like, I've never heard it say that before. And so we just ignore it, continue hanging stuff up. And then I hear a crash in my room, and I go in my room, and one of the shelves had come completely off the wall and
What?
knocked onto the ground. And I was like, what the heck? Like it's all like nailed into the wall and stuff, and it had completely came off the wall. So
So,
I was
Zane,
I was like, that was super weird.
did you think? What did you think about that? Did you think that might have been like your dad's or something telling you he don't want that damn poster right there or
I I
something?
think I think he was trying to say, I don't know, with the green light thing, it kind of made me feel like, oh, he's giving us like the green light, like that's good right there. And then like since we ignored it, he was like, hey, pay attention to me, and like knocked the thing off the wall, like, hello, I'm right here, listen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe that.
that's so crazy. With the lights turning off. Whenever we interviewed Tristan and y'all's dad, we that same night I replayed the video for my kids, and I shit you not, we go through the whole episode, and as soon as it ends, I'm talking about like to the freaking second, our whole power shuts off,
Yeah,
and my daughter was losing her shit.
yeah.
Happening.
Yeah, and it
Just
stayed off for a while too.
yeah,
Like I'm talking about like to the T. Like soon as it was done, like perfect timing. Just zoo, all the power just went off, and we're like, what?
yeah. I remember that. That was messed up. That was scary. I get
Yeah,
scared easy like
Another
that.
another thing that happened was I didn't see it happen because I was asleep, but my wife was working. She works from home and mostly at night, and all of a sudden I have all my ghost hunting equipment in bags, and I usually just leave it. Like when we get back, I put it on my couch in my living room, and I kind of just leave it until I have to like recharge things or take it back out.
Mhm.
And my REM pod turned off in the bag and started going crazy inside the bag for
oh
some
shit.
reason. And my wife was like, "What is that noise?" And then she found it, pulled the REM pod off, and turned it off, and told me like the next day, "Oh, by the way, this happened." I was like, "That's weird."
Wait,
Damn.
I don't think it's. I think that's your dad. Trying to get your attention. But I mean, that's just me. That's the stuff that I believe in. But I don't want to experience that. Like I
Have
would.
have
I wouldn't know how to handle it.
have you guys had
Yeah,
like any dreams of him? Like maybe that he's trying to reach out to you?
yeah, I think so. I feel like a couple of them have been like I've had a couple where he's like shown up in my dream and just basically let me know like, "Hey, I'm okay. Don't worry. Like I'm good. Don't worry." You know.
Yeah, I know. I had one like that recently. About my grandfather, and it's crazy because I had called my mom and I was telling her, and she was like, "Did you talk to your little brother?" I'm like, "No," and she had said that he, same thing with him. He had a dream that he saw my grandfather in his dream, and then my little nephew that same freaking night. Apparently, he was telling my brother like, that there's some dude outside, and he described my grandpa to the T. Like literally, all three of us the same, the night before, all of us had dreams or saw him, and this was actually pretty recent too.
Yeah, I
Wow.
believe that they our loved ones come to us and try to
Yeah.
reassure us and try to communicate with us. Hmm.
Yeah. I had a weird dream a couple weeks ago. Or my uncle was in it, and my uncle was like, "Yeah, I just visited your dad." Like telling me like I just visited his grave. It's like, I visited your dad and my sister, and my dad like popped up in my dream, and he's like, yeah, where the hell were you? And and I woke up from that dream because my alarm went off to go to work in the morning, and there was my uncle's post from Facebook that he just posted like 4 minutes before, of a picture of him at my dad's grave, and I just visited my brother today. And I was like,
What?
whoa, what was that?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I believe that. So when my dad had it was traumatic and horrible, with my dad, but I would I had lived in the hospital for so many days. I didn't come home, and it was to the point where the nurses were saying, "You got to go home. You got to go eat. You got to go shower. You got to go rest. But more importantly, you got to go shower. You have to go." So that one time I decided to go home, I would always sleep with my phone. I would lay with my phone, so in case anybody was calling me, I could hear it. But at this point, I hadn't slept for a few weeks, and maybe just like 5 or 10 minutes here and there at the hospital on the couch, on the chairs, whatever. And I went home and I fell asleep. I fell asleep and I had a dream. And so the way that I deal with the depression that I had and all that is to paint, because that's what my doctor told me I needed to find a hobby. So that's exactly what I did. But I had a dream that he was trying to reach out, with his hand and he was calling my name and he was saying, "I have to go." And I was like, in my dream, like, what? And as soon as he says, "I have to go," and he says, "I love you." And when he said that, my phone rang, and immediately I knew exactly what that phone call was about. And it was my sister saying, "You need to come to the hospital now. They've been working on him for 40 minutes. They couldn't do anything to save him." So I was like, "Oh my God, I literally had that dream. Like he was trying to communicate to tell me that he was leaving." I had two more dreams after that, and one of them I followed him, and that's a whole different subject. But the other dream was I did have a baby, and that baby had passed away, and I had a dream that he was with her, and he came to me in the dream, and he was showing me that he was with her and that she was okay. So I do believe that our loved ones do try to communicate with us. I would prefer it if it were in dream and not really like here, like ghosts, like form, because again,
Yeah.
I'm not like you guys. I didn't have that education as a child. In fact, I was traumatized as a child. I think when The Exorcist came out with Linda Blair back in the day, like I think I was like 7, or I don't even know how old I was. Then that really messed me up. Like ever since then, I just can't handle those kinds of things, and that's something a child shouldn't be watching anyways. But back in those days, it was a little bit different. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
All right, guys.
Tristan,
I
did
gotta go. I have a birthday party I gotta get to. I think. Thank you guys for having me on. I really
thank
appreciate it.
you,
It's been a lot
Zane.
of fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's
All
nice to
right.
meet you,
Thank
man.
you.
All right. Nice to meet you guys too. Thank you. See
All
ya.
right, bye. Thank you. And then Tristan, did you have something, a dream too?
I've had a few dreams, but I don't really make too much about them because I've seen him. Like my first dream, like I saw him for like 3 seconds, and my brain literally immediately woke me up. Uh, the second time, like I seen him, and I saw him for a good minute or so. Like hugging him and stuff, but he didn't really say anything. Uh, and then like my third one was kind of like the same way. He showed up. uh, I was like, how much I love him and stuff like that. Uh, and that was like pretty much it. There was really nothing to it. So I don't really make at it, like anything of it. So it's like, maybe it's just my breathing thing. It's my
Hmm.
putting in, like they're putting in my dreams the breathing state. But there hasn't been like really any messages or anything where he's like, oh yeah, like that has to mean like he hasn't really, when he's been in my dreams, he hasn't really said anything. So I think it's not going in terms of fitting in the breathing. But uh, after that happened with Wayne, or with the crashing and stuff at his place, I, my dad's a ghost hunter. He knows how to work it, that ghost hunting equipment and stuff. So after you pass and stuff, I lay some cat balls out in my room every night. That's what I would do. I'd lay like a couple of them. Like I'd do in front of my TV in front of my bed, and I would leave them on and just see if anything happens. And the first night I didn't get anything, and then during the day it was just randomly going off. One of them was just randomly going off. So I was like, maybe the batteries are dying. So I'll just throw it
Mhm.
away. Not thinking of it. I threw away three of them because I was thinking that they were dying, as they would go off randomly. And it wasn't like I had two set up, so I was thinking, well, if it was him, he would kind of set both of them off, not just one consistently or randomly. So I kind of just threw those away. I even made sure, okay, these ones are bad. Like I went through all my cat balls. And I was like, okay, these ones are bad. These ones are good. And the rest are fast. So I
Mm.
placed the good ones out. And my brother gave me my dad's portable gaming system that he recently got before he passed. And I was playing on it. I was playing one of those games, one of his favorite games that he likes to play. And uh, majority of the night, the cat balls were done. But when I started playing the game, from the corner of my eye, I saw one of them going off, which was right next to on my side of the bed.
Oh.
It's like, okay, so I kind of like acted like I didn't see it go off. So I kind of like played it off like, like I didn't see anything. So I continued playing, and a good 5, 10 minutes, I think it was like a good 10 minutes, it went off again. And I was like, oh, okay. That's weird because I haven't really had anything happen until I started playing this game.
Yeah.
And I was up on like, everyone else was dead asleep. I was up. So I kind of moved the camera and moved them. I moved that one that was on my side of the bed up next to my TV, started playing it again, and it went off again. That same one. And I'm like, there's no way. Because I checked all the cat balls and I threw away all the ones that I was pretty sure that were dead. These ones are pretty much freaking new. That's weird. Okay. That was a little something that like caught me off guard, and I was like, maybe that was it. But then after, I think it was a couple weeks after that, uh, I was putting my kids to bed and stuff, and I was talking to my fiance about my daughter, something funny that she was doing. And in the middle of my conversation, there was two on my closet, all my closet doors. And it
Excuse me.
was off because we're the one standing with two kids with one bed, and we get it's just to us, and we completely like right got quiet. And as soon as we got quiet, two knocks on that same door happened.
S-
Like, okay, that I was for me, I was like, okay, that's a good idea. And I was like, I don't know, But then the next day, I was like, okay, I need to figure out. I didn't know what was happening.
mm.
I know it was close to us, but I didn't know exactly where it was. Yeah, I know it's just like it has to be either in the hallway or like one of these doors or something. It has to be closest to it. It sounded loud next. So I started like knocking on the wall. I started knocking on these doors, and I was like, our hallway door sounded pretty much exactly the same as,
Mm.
and that's where we were standing in front of that door. I was like, I knocked on it. That's exactly the same sound. And it didn't just happen once, it happened twice, and it was two knocks exactly the same.
Uh,
Like, I wonder, like, I was like, I I have a feeling that was me. That it was just, I never had something like that happen before.
Mm.
And the fact that it threw us both off the when it happened was like, that had to be. So that was something. Uh, and then another thing that happened was actually, I think a couple weeks ago, um, I was in my living room just doing stuff on my PC, And everyone, my daughters were asleep, my fiance was in the bedroom, the door was shut, and I'm just like about getting I'm getting ready for bed and stuff, and I just hear like this loud bang right behind me, like someone stomped on the floor. It, man, I jumped. You know how cats when they get scared, they're like, "Can I jump up in the air?" I literally jumped in the air, turning around like I did a 360. I like a 180, like I flipped around really quick, scared me, and no one was there. And I thought it was my fiance because she likes to like try to do things like that, but no one was.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, that's weird. I'm gonna check down my kids, and they're dead asleep. And the fiance's in the bedroom, they're closed. I opened up like, did you like drop something or stomp or something? Because I, and she was like, no, I didn't. Like I first kind of like just like a bang, but I didn't. I thought that was you or something. And so she's like, no, I just been sitting in the bed with myself. And I was like, dude, I really like almost shit with you. I sounded like someone next to me, like right behind me.
Whoa.
I jumped in the air like that, and it was so loud. And, like I felt the vibration. So it was
Wow.
so crazy. And, yeah, I've never had something like that scare me. Like I've never been so. That was a first. I'll just admit that was a first. But I actually like jumped and like I was breaking a sweat because that was crazy.
Yeah.
Your dad's been preparing you your whole life, and he's like he's gonna learn
He's
today.
gonna check. He's gonna learn. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you would
he's like,
say
I'm
your
gonna test
dad
him
was a
today.
jokester.
Yeah, well, he would always make a joke too. Like he would always say if he ever passes, that he would, you know, haunt us, do things to scare us and
Oh shit!
stuff. So, I mean, I feel like that felt like it would have been him trying to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. It was what Tony said. You're gonna learn today. If you have not learned that one thing I taught you in the 15 years of investigating, you're gonna learn today.
But I kind of asked for it. I'm not gonna lie, I did ask for it because I was like, it's been quiet for a long time. It's been quiet for
Mhm.
a minute, and I was just like, I'm still in that process of like, are these things really him? And I've been like in my head, dude, if this is really you, like, do something, dude. Like, I need to know that you're actually here and stuff. And that week I was actually in my head, like pretty much telling him, do something, prove it to me, and I felt like that happened. I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure he did prove it to me. Because I
Mhm.
was literally thinking that whole entire week, like, it's been quiet, dude. You said when you passed, you would do things to show us that you're there and to show your presence and scare us and stuff. And dude, it's been quiet. We haven't heard anything from you, and nothing's been happening. I was like, dude, fucking do stuff, You
Mhm.
Yeah,
just do it, and it happened. And I'm like, I'm dead set that that was him because I was
yeah.
asking for it. I was so.
I mean, one thing I do want to say, dude, is man, don't give up on it. I mean, you clearly have the passion for it. Whenever you're talking about this stuff, or like,
You're
we're
right.
talking about it. Just looking at you, you have this look in your face, like you
Mhm.
fucking love it, dude. Don't
Yeah,
give up. Don't give up on it, and man, continue the legacy, dude. Like start your own legacy now.
I I love
Well.
I love the just like the experiences, like
Mhm.
me getting scared from that stump or whatever bang it was. Like that's the type of experience that I want at places. When that stuff happens, your adrenaline pumps, and it's just like, yo, dude, that's great. Like that's awesome. Like I want more of that, and it's you just kind of want more and more every time.
Yeah,
And obviously you go to places and you get stuff, and then sometimes you go to the same place and you don't get stuff. It's a
Mhm.
50-50. You might have a good time at one location, then you go back, and the second time nothing happens. But it's those type of experiences for me that just like excites you. And that's kind of some same thing with my dad. My dad was the same way. He was more like he wants stuff to happen. When it ends up being quiet and nothing really happens, he's like, and this is getting really boring. Really want
Yeah.
something to happen. Like that's exactly how he would say it too. And yeah, because it's those type of things that like keeps you doing it. It's like those experiences like put you more in that position of like you believe in it.
Mhm.
And it's more of like trying to push to see how much power these paranormal entities really have.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of them have a whole lot of power. Like I mean, knocks and bangs and playing with your equipment is kind of, a usual thing. But when you get like full on figures in your videos, or like bang, like doors opening and closing, or really noticeable things that you want to see, like you can't. It's unbelievable, right? Like it's one of those things, like those experiences, they're unbelievable when you catch stuff like that. Or when it
Yeah.
happens in front of you, where like a door opens on its own in front of you. That's something that you can't explain. And it's like, wow, like that's what keeps me going, type of a thing
Yeah.
for me. So it's like I want more of these unknown things that it's like unexplainable to happen. And
Mhm.
but the usual knocks and bangs and stuff, like we can consider those as anything, the house settling, or the building
Yeah.
settling, or some type of machinery making the knocks and bangs. Like it's really hard with knocks and bangs because they're so like common. Like we've gotten them quite a bit, so
Yeah.
it's kind of but that's why we try to push forward on trying to get more, like
Right.
do something more. Another thing that we've noticed is when we like do SS methods and like spirit portal like sessions and stuff like that, a lot of these entities, like you tell them to play with your equipment and stuff, and they kind of pretty much tell you, F off, dude. Like, no, leave me alone. I feel like that they're getting too annoyed with these devices because a lot of people have them, and a lot of these places a lot of people go to investigate.
Yeah.
The entities are getting annoyed because there's so many people telling them what to do all the time. Like, would you want me to keep telling you what to do? Like, I'm not your boss, but I'm
Right.
telling you, touch this device, do this, do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure you would get kind of annoyed too when someone's just like kind of sitting there bossing you around.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's hard to get more information because they are like so annoyed with these devices to get activity or to get information, because it's everyone uses it and tells them what to do all the time.
Yeah. That
So
makes
it's more about trying to get the more things that don't really happen, like trying to push them to do more. And that's what we try to do. We try to be like, come on, touch me, push me, do something, like prove to me that there's something here.
yeah.
Show the power that you have. Or like if there's a certain device that doesn't really go off as often, we'll try to like see if they can do it. And we've had it happen. Our REM pod that we have, I mean, a lot of YouTubers, they for some reason make it seem like it goes off all the time, which with us it doesn't. Most of the locations we've gone to, we haven't really been able to push the REM pod as like these other YouTubers do. And certain locations, we've had a couple locations, like the location that I got access to, uh, we weren't really getting anything throughout the whole entire night. We were there for hours not getting anything, and all we really wanted was just set the REM pod off to the blue light, or blue or green light, the highest light you can change it to, like the last color you can change it to. That's what we want. As soon as you do that, we'll leave. We'll leave. That's all we want, because that will show us that you are here and that you don't want us here anymore. And after a good, 10, 15, it could be like 20 minutes, it would just go all out, all the way. All the colors are going off, just crazy. And then dead silence. After like 30 seconds, it was like probably good 10, 15 seconds of it going off, it'd be dead silent. And then we wouldn't get anything after. So it's like, well, I guess that was our sign. They did it.
Get out.
We asked them if they did that, then we would leave. They did do it. It's time for us to leave, you know?
Right. Now it's time for y'all to get out.
And it's happened a couple times. We've done that where we're like, hey, if you can push that device as hard as you can to set all the lights off, we'll leave. And it's happened, I would say 2 or 3 times. It's happened that way.
That's crazy.
It doesn't go off very often. Like it does flicker. The red light on it does flicker a little bit, which I don't really take that as anything. It's when it starts going kind of crazier than that. That's when I'm like, okay, that could be something. But once it goes up to like, I think I can't remember if it's the green or purple light. One of those are like is the last lights on it, and you have to be really close to the device to set it off. And we're all good 10, 15, 20 feet away from it. Some people are in the other room; they can't even see it. I was watching it, and it was nothing was happening with it until after 10 or 15 minutes after we asked for that to happen. It just went off crazy, and it shocked me. I was sitting there like, no way, dude, it's going off, like it was just when stuff like that happens, that's where it's like, okay, I know this device doesn't do that often, so when I do have that happen, it impresses me.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, I just think those type of things it keeps you going. Like you want to get more, you want to get more information, you want them to prove you wrong or prove you right, whatever you want to think about on how much power they have and what can they do. And that's what I want to see. I want to see how much power they have and what they can do.
Yeah.
In my from what I can see is that these regular spirits that are just regular beings don't have very much energy, and they do little things. But then when you get more into like the other entity side of like the baddish side of things, I feel like the baddish side has stronger energy and they're able to do more. And then then you have like demons, you know, that can do a lot more crazier stuff. And I feel like there's like this balance where like regular spirits can let them presence known and stuff, but it's very little small things. And then on the other end of the spectrum, where it gets more darker and darker and darker, they have more of this power and they can do a lot more with it. That's just kind of what I've gathered, in my opinion, as I have been investigating, because I feel like the evil entity, for some reason, does more things than these other spirits that are just regular beings that are just like regular people, in my opinion, and that they're just like letting us know, like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you, or I'm just doing my own thing, leave me alone, you know? That's just how I think about it. Because I haven't really seen any like regular, I don't know, not really regular, but like a spirit, like a spirit that's good. I haven't really seen them actually do anything crazy.
Yeah.
It's always been something darker that does the crazier stuff. So that's just how I think about it.
Do you worry about that for yourself? Like experiencing like the darker part?
No,
Or like
I mean,
attaching?
for how long I've been doing it, I haven't really experienced anything really dark. I know there's people that, I mean, like you yourself, scared of like attachments and stuff, and I don't really have that fear, honestly, and I haven't really had that experience of having an attachment. I mean, there's obviously things that you can do to prevent these things, you know, attachments and stuff, you know, always, you know, holy water. You can always wear your cross, like a necklace with a cross on it, you know, and stuff like that. You can have these little things that can protect you, or you can do, you know, what are those blessings or whatever you can do before doing an investigation, which some people do.
Mhm.
It's just based on your belief, but on my experience, I haven't really had to really worry about that. I never really thought about that because I don't see too much of her darker side. I haven't really seen
Yeah.
too much of the darker side. I've been most of the places that we've gone to, we're just talking. I mean, there's always this angry guys for some reason. Most places have like an angry guy that just is telling us to F off and get out, and they don't want to talk to us and calling us names. But when we try to tell them, well, if you want us out, do something, push us out, scare us, do something, and we don't. It doesn't get us anywhere, and like nothing happens. So it's like they're all talk, but I feel like they talk, but they don't have the energy to actually do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it's like if they're so pissed off that we're here, why wouldn't they do something to get us out or scare us out?
Mhm.
Because every time when we try to push these angry spirits, that we don't, nothing happens from it. And it's not like we're trying to like be rude, it's just like prove to us. You think you're so big and bad, prove to us that you can do things to get us out. Or like you're saying all these things, oh, F off, I'm gonna fight you and stuff like that. Well, I'm not feeling anything. You're not doing anything. You're not slamming doors. You're not trying, like, I don't feel like I'm being pushed down the stairs. So I don't really see much coming from this.
Mhm.
So I just feel like there's a spectrum of like, there's these spirits that we communicate all the time that have very little power of showing themselves or like showing their energy or giving us their presence or whatever you
Yeah.
want to make out of it. And then there's other entities that have more power that can do more things. And they're just more on the darker side of things.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Marvel, you have the good side and the bad side. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
the villains are like for some reason more stronger than the good guys. So like I kind of think of it as that way, like the stronger beings are the darker beings.
Well, I learned something new every time we have somebody else, that we're gonna have to have a part 2 to this side.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
If
you can continue. Like, I mean, it's all an opinion. I mean, like my brother might have a different opinion. I don't know.
Mhm.
But and for me, it's just I kind of think of that way. That's why, like, I've been around people. I've been around other investigators and stuff like that, and I see a lot. And I've done like public investigations where there's like new people trying to join the ghost hunting community and stuff like that, and like want to do ghost hunts and stuff, and they're scared immediately. They as soon as they go to this location, they're immediately like already on edge. And then so it's like every little thing that can happen, they're like making it seem like it's something evil all the time. It's always like when something like if a knock happens, they freak out and they think it's something evil. But in my opinion, it's like, no, you just got yourself freaked out because you're already scared, and then something little happened, and you made it like it was over exaggerated a little bit. Because I mean, I experience these things all the time at places, knocks, bangs, and stuff like that, and I'm not sitting here freaking out about it. If
Yeah.
it's not injuring me or causing harm to me, I'm not going to worry about it.
yeah.
Go ahead and knock on a wall. That's not going to scare me because it's not hurting me.
Yeah.
She is gonna scare
I
me.
I just feel like a lot of people. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that are kind of scared and afraid of these paranormal entities because we don't really understand. And
Right.
but also, I don't think people understand that. I think there's a spectrum of how much energy they have, and I feel like the darker energies have more power, and they can do more damage than a regular spirit, a good spirit, and per se, like a better spirit that actually did good in life, and then in the afterlife, you're a good spirit,
Yeah.
and they have little energy to really do anything bad. Like I feel like maybe the good spirits can't do anything to scare people. Like that's not their agenda. Like they don't have the power to scare people. They
Yeah.
have the power to let people know, hey, I'm here, but not enough to, their agenda is not to scare you. Like, they're not supposed to scare you because that's bad,
Yeah.
you know? But then the bad spirits can do stuff to scare you. And I don't know. It could be an ongoing thing. I don't know. It's just my opinion. That's what I kind of think. Because I've been to several places, and a lot of the spirits that we've talked to have been, for what I can see, all good. And a lot of people like to twist things up too, where uh, they think this entity is a fake, like portraying as a different entity. Like, I feel like it's a guy spirit pretending to be a girl spirit, you know?
Oh.
Like, yeah, that stuff can happen, but I'm sorry to say, but when you get evidence of a female voice
Mhm.
telling you her name, and then also you get other confirmations from your devices and stuff saying, yeah, I am a little girl and this is my name and stuff, you fit the pieces together and you're like, well, this is the real thing. This
Yeah.
little girl is a real little girl, not this evil entity you think it is. Now, the evil entity that you're thinking of is probably here, but it's not the little girl that you think it is. You know,
That's crazy. Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's a big thing. Like, you can talk about this stuff and have your own opinions all day long,
Mhm.
and that's
Yeah.
something that me and my dad would do all the time. We would talk hours on end about all ghost hunting, paranormal stuff. Uh, we would talk about other YouTubers and their whack videos, and you know, who we think is fake and who is real, uh and stuff like that. Like, we would talk for hours about it. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's that me and him had, like, we could just continue talking about this stuff, and uh we'd both have like our own opinions about devices and uh locations, you know, like, well, do you want to go investigate this location? He's like, well, the last time we were there, we didn't really get anything, so I don't want to go there again. You know, I'll go somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, but I kind of want to go there for a second time just to make sure, you know. And he was like, nah, dude, I don't want to waste my time.
I can I can see that. I can see that. We're going to be closing off here in just a minute here, but what I wanted to say is, again, all bullshit aside though, Tristan, I just feel like you still, for you to take your time in making your decision. I know your brother feels one way about like keeping the legacy, and like I said earlier, I'm for that. And then whatever you decide, I mean, it's really what it boils down to is what you want to do and what's going to make you happy, and you know that you're gonna, whatever you decide, that's
It's more just trying to find that spark again, you know, in a
and
different way. That's
yeah,
like
it
Yeah.
trying to find the spark, the motivation, and the inspiration again,
right.
because he was the big piece of that, and now it's all about trying to find something that can spark it back up.
Yeah.
Yes, and I believe that you will find that. You know, Tony is right though. When you're talking about it, there is a you when you go back and look at this, when you go back and look at this right here, and you go back and you watch it on your own time. I know you're on the live, but when you are go back and look at it, you'll see what we're talking about. You'll see it. Maybe you don't feel it right now because a big part of this unknown investigators is no longer here in this physical realm, right? But
Yeah,
do believe in the afterlife and that there's the spirits and stuff. So it's just like you said, it's a different dynamic now. But um I do want to just let you know that I'm here whenever you want to talk. We'll
Yeah.
talk offline and stuff like that. But take your time before you make any kind of decisions. You got to go through what you need to go through. I mean, 15 years of investigating with your dad is a long time. It's like you said, he educated you and taught you a lot of stuff. So again, just take your time. We're here. If you ever want to reach out to Tony or myself, well, I'm always here to
Yeah.
to help you, talk to you, to listen to you, whatever you need. Okay.
yeah, of
But
course.
uh want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Tony, do you have any last words before I close everything out? Or Tristan?
Yeah, yeah, just same thing. Just keep pushing forward. You know, you're gonna have to get through this process. The grieving process, and I don't know what you're going through. I haven't lost a parent yet, but I know it's hard, and again, we're here for you, and just rest in peace, Chad.
Yeah, I have lost a father, so it's very hard. And like I said, I stayed in my darkness for a whole year, so that I don't recommend that. But everybody goes through it differently. Everybody has their time. There's no time limit. There's no, okay, 3 months, that's it. I got to stop grieving and move on. There's no, like, you're going to always miss your dad. You're going to always grieve, but you got to find a way to push forward and find a new path for yourself, though. And
Yeah,
we're here for you.
I was just gonna say that. It's like it's
Yeah.
more of like something so big in your life and
Mhm.
a big part of your life, and now you have to pretty much start on a whole new life with
Yeah,
that part out of it. And it's like, so you're just trying to fit the pieces all together, and
Yes.
I mean, you're moving forward, but at the same time, you're step by step putting pieces together to keep moving forward. And
Right.
like that's what I'm doing. I'm slowly trying to fit the pieces back together. So
It'll happen. Just keep pushing forward. It'll happen. I know we talked, offline, and we'll continue to, talk about it offline. But yeah, that's really hard. I was really, really sad to hear about that. But yeah, it's a part of the life process that we go through. We're all gonna pass away eventually one day. I just hope that I have my people do me good and carry on my legacy, just like y'all are, Zane is, and just like you're going to do, but in a different way, in a different path that you're going to take, whatever that is. But I know that you'll
yeah,
carry your dad with you the whole time, though.
oh yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
perfect. Well, thank you so much again, Tristan, for joining us. I appreciate it, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
No,
yeah.
thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks
I
for coming
Th-
on,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you to everybody who watched the live, and then it'll stay on the
Yeah,
YouTube, so you can go back and look at it
and
and stuff.
and everybody who commented too. We've been
Yeah,
having
thank you.
a lot of chatter on the comments.
A lot of chatter on the comment. Thank you, April, so much. Yes. So remember, guys, what I always say is you don't have to believe in these things. You can we just ask that you have an open mind and open heart. And don't forget to take care of one another, take care of each other. Nobody else is going to do it. We got to do that for everybody. So that's all. Just take
Yeah,
care of each other, because you just never know when our number is being called. So, and it'll be called one day, so we'll all go. But in the meantime, let's all take care of each other. Love, light, and peace to everybody out there. Thank y'all so much for joining the live. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
Peace. You're welcome.
people say that I'm one of the greats. I'm the one that you left to hate. Shake 'em up like a quake. Pop your feelings and turn and dispose 'em like haters. I throw away. I'm forever blessed. Got the spirit that's holy controlling me. I ain't gotta coordinate. I just sit back and buckle my bills and I'm ready to blaze in the stars of my destination.
Son,
Melted
melted
rockets,
broadcast
open
vision.
melted rockets, open
Love you guys. Take care of each other for real, though. We'll talk. Podcast open vision. Peace.